Welcome everyone to Life Beyond the Clouds. And I'm really excited about this. It's actually the first time I have Jeff Thurm on here, and he works for BuzzFeed. And in a second, I'm going to let you talk about what it is that you do, because I actually don't know. So this is the first time. We have never met before. We have never talked before. So this is going to be very interesting. I can't wait to talk to you about the messages that I've been receiving, and we can have a conversation. I'd like to go back and forth with this. So I would like you to go ahead and just introduce yourself and talk about what you do, because I have a feeling a little bit, but I'm a little bit excited, and I can't wait to start kind of touching base with you for people that haven't that are already here.
Cool. So yeah, I'm Jeff. I am the head of entertainment at BuzzFeed UK. So I oversee all things entertainment and celebrity news and pop culture at
Oh,
BuzzFeed
wow.
UK. I'm based in London. I'm originally from the US, but I've been in London for the last 7 years. And yeah, do red carpet reporting,
Amazing.
TV and film junkets, and celebrity interviews, and just kind of all things pop culture.
This is really amazing. And now this is really exciting, because what I kept hearing and feeling for you was that you travel around a lot. I kept feeling like there was lots of people around you and lots of energy when I was sensing the people in heaven. So actually the way it works for me is I've had this since I was 9. I started sensing and feeling things. And for me, it's about connecting people to divine, and that there's something more, Jeff, on our daily life, right? We don't understand that when we get guided to something or being shown things, it's never us. It's always the people in heaven that love us. There's always something so much more that's guiding us. So for you, when I came in and I started sensing and feeling, I was feeling a father energy for you in heaven. Does this make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Because I kept hearing, tell him how proud I am of him, that I love him so much that he's here. Okay, I know this is what I say for people in our daily life. No matter what we do, the love from heaven is so great. I never sense or feel anything bad or negative for people. It's about a divine energy. And he immediately kept saying to tell you that he's not alone. He's bringing somebody else in with him, and she's very excited. And she kept saying to you, she did not live a long life from what I'm sensing and feeling. She did not live a long life here on the physical earth, is the way
Nope.
she's coming in. And she kept saying, and this feels like a sister energy from you. Does this feel make sense for you?
Yep.
And she was saying to thank you for being her voice when she didn't have one. I feel as if either there was something about like the throat area, or not being able to talk that much, or not being able to use her voice. But she's so energetic now. You have to understand, when they come to me, they're alive. In heaven, everyone's alive. There's no such thing as death. There's a change of worlds. And I really want to change the way people look at this. Right. But she's very excited. Like, she's very excited. And she keeps saying, I can walk now. I can walk now. Does this make sense for you?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. So yeah, my dad passed away
Okay.
10 years ago, and my sister passed away 5 years ago. My sister had multiple disabilities. She couldn't walk, talk, or see. So yeah, she
Oh my
couldn't
God.
speak. She couldn't walk. She couldn't see. Um, and then yeah, she died of kind of like pneumonia related illnesses, just because she was
So
a bit too sick to heal.
So what's interesting is I tell you, I get automatic writing. So I scribble when I come in, and I'll read some of the notes. And this is what she kept showing me. I kept seeing writing wheelchair. She kept showing me like that there was a wheelchair that she was in, and I actually had eyes written down, and writing like something about either I don't know if she would try to write, or that's how she would communicate, or there was something about somebody writing for her, is the way, and she just kept saying, thank you for being my voice. And they're together, and I keep seeing the initial J for someone, as if their name starts with a J. So
Yep.
I feel like it's connected. Is it connected to her?
Yeah, yeah. She was Jenny.
Okay, so she kept showing me this, and she's just one that she's with you all the time. And I feel as if on your journey, she's the one that you've been so driven or done so much, almost like sometimes, how you don't realize it, but in kind of an honor of her, because I'm going to do all these things that you want. And she's so funny. She talked about she wanted to drive, like she wanted to drive a car, like she wished she could have driven a car. And she kind of laughs about this. I know it's a lot, right? When they
Yeah.
come through, but the thing is that they are so much alive. They're more alive than we are. Heaven's a real place. We don't look at it like that. We live in houses, and we go dancing, and we go swimming. It's a mirror image of Earth without this time and all this stuff that we do down here, right? All this stuff, we just leave it. Um, but they very much come in. I'm telling you, they are so connected. Your father and her, they come in together, and they're so incredibly proud of what you're doing. But I feel like so much of what you've done in life, Jeff, is really about honoring her too. It's about keeping, do you understand, keeping her memory alive and doing things for her. Um, I can just tell you this is an energy that will always be, any with your father, they will always be around and guiding. And I feel like you feel them. I don't know if you realize how much you do, but I think you do, because they make me feel as if they show you signs, or you'll just all of a sudden, it's like they come to us. People always think that we think of them, right? We'll say,
Mm.
oh, I thought of my sister today. It's really them or your father. It's them coming to us. Do you understand? It's their energy that we're feeling, and it makes us turn around and have a memory of them, because she's a very bright energy. She's a very bright light. She just had, to me, she has this beautiful energy, and she kept showing me some sort of a blanket. So I don't know if this makes sense, if there was something about a certain blanket that she always liked to be covered up with, but she kept showing me a
Mm.
blanket.
I don't. Maybe there. I mean, she had a few blankets. I don't know if there's one that like stands out specifically, but that's nice. That's a nice memory.
But it's almost as if for her it was kind of like a security thing, like having the blanket on her, like I always wanted a blanket, like I always
Mm.
wanted this, you know what I mean? And now, is your mother still, I feel your mother's still on the physical earth, does that make
Yep.
sense?
Yep. Mom's still here. Yeah.
Okay, because I feel as if they watch, and you have another sibling. That's what they're
Yeah.
showing me.
Another brother as well. He's still here as well.
Okay, okay, because they're showing me another sibling for you. But I feel like for you, I don't know if you took more time with her, or if you spent, you know what I mean, a lot of time with her, because she just keeps saying thank you, like thank you for doing this. Does this make sense for you?
Yeah. I mean, I tried to. I mean, we all had to help out a lot. She required a lot of additional help. So yeah, just kind of always, even as a kid, kind of like helping out with my parents.
And this is what she thanks you for, Jeff. Do you understand that she knows that this in your life, that there was other things that you could have done? Do you understand, places you could have done? But this is what she says thank you for, because you know what I mean, that you did it and you were there. And when they come through, it's just to love us. I'm telling you that we're loved so much more than we can ever imagine. And she just keeps saying like she knew that you would do this, or that you would be very successful. It's almost like she knew. You understand? Like she knew, and she
Yeah.
wants this. She's almost still guides you, you know, and so does your father. I want you to know, when you don't think they see everything.
Mm.
Do you understand? They see everything. And I actually did have California written down for you, as if either you lived there at one time, or like there was
Yeah.
like a very strong connection. And
Yeah.
it's almost like
Yeah.
you still like it. I still feel like either there's part of you that someday is like, I really want to go back here. Like, I
Yeah.
really
Definitely.
want to go back. I feel it almost as if there is some part of you that will end up there again. I don't know, you know what I mean, if this is a thought you have, but it's what they're showing me.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely where I see myself. I mean, I love California. I have California pictures all over my room.
Okay, it's perfect. Because I actually
You know,
had California down here, and I just feel as if this is somewhere, do you understand, that you will be
yeah,
going back to. It's still home in your heart. I feel like it's still like any
it
chance you
is.
get, if I can go back there, I want to go. If I can do an
Yeah.
interview there, like I want to go, like send me, I want to go. Because, and it's almost even with your career, I feel like from what you just said, I mean, it's incredible what you do, right? I had no idea that you do all of this, but I still feel like there's, I don't want to say more, but I feel still like either there's a shift or going to be some other sort of a change with this. Like you really are involved in, I don't know why they were saying production. I don't know how this works, or you're doing a lot of the setting up of things, or like behind the scenes too. I feel like it's not just being with the people, which she shows is like, and your dad, like you're setting things up too. Like there's
Yeah.
more. I don't know how to explain it, but like you're setting things up. It's almost like you want to run things, like you really know how, or you want to change some, even like you do more in-depth interviews with people. I feel like almost this is what they're saying. Like you almost get into like, it's almost like would be like a 60-minute show or something. I don't know how to describe this right, but it's like I really want to do in-depth interviews with people, not just
Mm.
quick, but like I'm going to start, or you're going to start doing like a lot of really in-depth interviews to get to know people, or to really want to, you know what I mean, show people in a different light. Does this make any sense for you?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Well, so I definitely at the moment I do still kind of help set up shoots, so setting up
Okay.
cameras, overseeing, strategy. Like there's a lot of other things that come with it, and I definitely want to get to a place where I'm kind of majority focused on the interviews themselves, and
Yes.
eventually have a team to do some of the production work, and ideally get booked, have my own show where I'm the one doing all the interviews, or
That's what they're
um,
showing me.
things like that. I definitely what the next step that I'm looking for.
All right, Jeff, that's exactly what she's showing me, is that with everything that you've learned, you know, with everything comes knowledge, right? No matter how long we do something, we're learning as we go. And that it's almost what she shows me is like you're really you have such a beautiful soul. You're very gentle. You're a very kind person. Like can sense and feel energies with people, and you're very a loving person. There's so much to you that even when you do this, like you really care about people.
Mm.
Like you really care about situations and people that you talk to. I think what they show me is after you talk to someone, you really like will think about them later. You'll just say, God, I hope they're okay, or I like you always. This is your energy. This is why they
Yeah.
really keep showing me that I see you having like your own little sit down, whether it's a half an hour show or it's almost like it could be a TV show or somebody kind of comes to you. You kind of start interviewing people more on a personal basis because I think we move so quick today that everything is so quick, right? It's so quick that we don't get to really understand. There's so much more to people than a 30-second soundbite. That what,
Mm,
and I
definitely.
think you've learned that. And for you, what your dad and your sister are so proud of is that this is what you want are kind of gearing more towards. Like, I really want to find out what was there like too, like as a child, because everything that you went through and you had in your life, it helped you to be who you are now. It made you more sensitive, more
Yeah.
understanding, and more caring towards people. You don't
Yeah.
judge people. You look and just think, God, it's amazing. There's so much more to you than just being on the screen. Like, where did you come from? So I really feel like there's something that is your next journey. Like you're still on this journey of interviewing people. And I feel like this is where they're really putting their energy for you.
Okay. Yeah, that's good to know. Yeah, I really like finding out. Yeah, the I like we kind of call it like lifting the veil on celebrity and
I
showing
like that
people
saying.
as human beings, showing people as their real self, like showing celebrities as their real selves. And everyone has a story and everyone has
Yes.
a background, and you never know what someone's going through that day, or why someone's in a bad
Yeah.
mood or a good mood or whatever. And we're so much more than just a 7 minute conversation in a hotel room, or
Yes.
a walk in on the street, or
Yeah.
a conversation at a coffee shop. Like, there's so much more going on. And so, you know, yeah, like you said, from my own experiences, I've been through a lot.
You have.
But that doesn't mean other people haven't also been through their own versions of a lot too. So,
And I think this is why really what kind of brought you to where you're at and to what you're doing. Like, I don't know if this is exactly your sister and your dad, like exactly what you thought you would be doing your whole life. It's kind of interesting the way they're saying this, but it's like you were guided here, right? That it was bigger than you. It's like all of a sudden things just kind of happen. It's like, here I am. Like, this is, I mean, you kind of start out in one area, but it's like, here I am, that you were guided to do this. And I just think with your energy, because we're just energy, right? And having these bodies, that's what we are. Energy never
mm,
dies. You cannot kill or destroy it. We never look at it like that, right? We just don't. But that what you're doing, I just think there's so much more to you too than what people see, like when you do this. And I'm going to have to look at pictures later. I didn't want to know anything about you, right? I just wanted to do this just like this. I felt like this was, the right way to do this with you. And I just think there's so much more, and there's so much more that you're going to be doing, moving forward. But I do feel, there's going to be some sort of a shift, whether you don't, stay exactly where you're at right now for, I do feel like there's some sort of a move coming for you, is what they're kind of
I
showing
hope
me.
so.
So
I hope
I
so.
do feel like there's a move coming, and I feel like it's coming sooner or later, almost like your energy is either being put into it now, Jeff, or how you start to just kind of look at something, you start to look and say, I'm going to call someone that sells real estate out there, or it's like you're starting to put your energy into, I feel like moving is where they're. And is there any connection to Hawaii? All of a sudden, your sister and your dad are showing me something with Hawaii.
Um, there's not really a connection. I mean, we had a family holiday. My sister didn't go, but we had a family holiday. Or, oh my God, holiday. I've been in London for too long. We had a family vacation when I was like a kid. Um, and it's actually the first place I ever went surfing. My brother and I went surfing in Hawaii. Um, and I still love surfing to this day. Going on a surf trip in a few weeks. Or no, sorry, next week.
So
So maybe that.
I want you to know this is why this gets brought up. So what happens with this, because even on the one page I had down for you, beach and water, like beach and water is such a big deal for you. And I wrote it down twice. So I had down beach and water up here. And then even on the other page, I have beach and water, and I have Hawaii, because what they'll also do in having to show memories, like when they come to me and I see things too, it's like they love to bring us back to when we were happy, things that made us
Mm,
feel good, right? We get so caught up in all this stuff that we do, but then we think the best times that we ever had is when we were just with people we love, or
yeah.
like with the surfing and the beach and the water. And they're showing me the Hawaii, because that's a place for you that brings you peace, right? It's a beautiful memory for you when you think about, I could see your energy and your face shift as soon as you just said, I went surfing in the water, because I feel with you, like anywhere you're going to go next, it's like, I have to have a house on the water. I want to be on the water. I don't
Yeah.
care where it is. It's got to be within, like, I look outside and I see it. I want to be close enough that I can see it and walk out. That this is where you find your peace, where you can let go. We all have to have that place inside of us, Jeff, where we just reconnect with the soul, right? It's what we are. And when we don't connect, we get anxious and feel nervous. But for you, this is where you go and you connect with all of them, and they connect with you, and you just kind of let everything go. It's like, I feel you when I'm on these waves. Like, I know you're right beside me, and I know that you're here. And this is why they're showing me this. So that's why they brought up to Hawaii. It wasn't about even you maybe going, but this was a beautiful place for you. It's a place that
Yeah.
made you have a lot of happiness.
Yeah, the beach is just what brings me ultimate joy and comfort. And, when I lived in LA, you
Hmm.
know, uh, when I was feeling sad about my dad passing, so it was before my sister passed away, but when I was feeling sad about my dad passing away, I would just go sit on the beach and look at the waves and cry. I would just look over at at the ocean and just cry. And I think ever since then, water, even like in London, on like Father's Day or my dad's birthdays or the anniversary of my dad's death or my sister's passing, whatever it might be, I always try to sit by water and just I'll put on a sad song and just let myself cry for
Yeah.
2 to 5 minutes and just let it all out, and
Yeah.
then that's like me done. But it's always by water, always.
And that's what because your dad wants you to know, like every time you're sitting there, he's right beside you. He's sitting, his energy, Jeff, it's right there. When we think of them, I always just say, we don't need people like me to talk to them. People have that thing of, right, that they need to come see people. You don't. You don't. They hear you, right? They hear you. They're with you. They love you. My father's in heaven, and I miss him every second of every minute of every day. And I talk to him constantly. They hear you. And I think that's what I really want to bring people to this, like even with what I do, I want people to understand how loved they truly are. We just have forgotten who we are and where we come from, and that we're never alone on this journey. And your dad's energy for you, oh my gosh, it's like when I felt his energy, it's so loving and it's so beautiful. And it's just one of, like, you can do nothing wrong, and just such pride for you, such love. And he's with you. That's why I just felt like the water for you. Do you understand? Is where you connect,
Yeah,
because water is a big conductor of energy,
yeah.
right? It's a very big conductor of energy, and that's where you just let go. That's where you just is. Was there anything with? I don't know why I keep seeing some piece of jewelry. I don't know why all of a sudden they're showing me this. I don't know if you have something of your dad's, and I kept seeing a coin or some piece of jewelry. Does this make sense?
So I have my dad's watch.
Okay, perfect. Okay, because
Um,
he just showed this to me. As if, do you understand? It's his energy that's on this for you.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I wear it. I used to only wear it for like family weddings or kind of big things, but I wear it a
Right.
bit more casually now as well. But yeah, I love it. I love wearing his watch.
And he's so glad. Do you understand? They want us to wear these things. I always say to people, they don't want you to stick it in a drawer, because people say, I'm
Yeah.
afraid if something happens. I always just say, they don't care. You know what I mean? They want you to wear it and to enjoy it, because you feel his energy. It's almost like sometimes I feel you almost go like this. Like he shows me, it's like sometimes you touch it to connect with him and you don't even realize you do it. It's like out
Mm,
of the blue, or it's almost like a certain time you'll look at it. And it almost seems like it's the same time whenever you look at it, right? It's
mm.
like you look at it, and I keep seeing the number threes around you. I don't know if you see anything with threes a lot, or 3 or 3:30, but it's like you almost look at it and it's like, oh, it looks like it's almost the same time. But it's just because their energy, it's something that they wore, and you feel his presence, and it makes you feel connected to him. And this is just why. Do you
Nice.
understand?
Yeah.
Your father kept showing me a lot of books or something about reading. I don't know if somebody had a lot of books around them, or somebody read a lot of books, but
My mom liked books. I hated reading. My dad hated reading, and my brother hated reading.
oh, it's your mother.
My mom hated that we hated reading. But
Okay.
we
Because
just we yeah.
yeah, I
But
don't
my
like
mom
to read
loved
that
it.
much. Yes, and I just keep saying somebody has the books. That can just be his way of coming in. Do you understand? And they like to make us laugh too. They want us to laugh. They want us to be happy down here. They want us to be happy, right? They don't want us to be sad. Yeah, we get sad because we miss them, but then they want to do anything. They'll find a way to make us laugh or do something else. But he kept showing the books, and maybe it's a way to make you laugh. Either your mother would get books and want you to read, and it's just like, oh gosh, I'm going to stick it in the drawer. I'm going to tell her I did, but I'm not
Yeah.
reading it, right? That, I mean,
Okay.
they'll find any way to try to was your father kind of a gentle energy?
Um, it depends. It depends. He had a few different aspects to him. Um, he was definitely gentle. I'm trying to word this politely. He was very kind, very loving, to us and to his family. Yeah, but he could be hard to understand for some people. He was definitely an interesting. He had some interesting personality traits.
I feel like when it came to all of you, he was. Do you understand? Or maybe somebody from
Very.
the outside looking in might have seen something different. And he kept showing me a desk. I don't know if there was a certain desk or something about his desk or a desk. I was just writing desk down while we were talking about him. So I don't
Mm.
know if there was something about his office or a desk. I don't know why somebody's taken me into an office.
I mean, his desk was kind of like the where the home computer was. So we were kind of if I ever was like online or like on the computer growing up, it was always like in his office at his
Okay,
desk. Yeah,
because he took
maybe.
me in there as you were talking. That's where he was taking me into was his office. So it's either like that was for him. He knew. Do you understand? Even if he didn't like you in there, but he knew. You know what I mean? He could find you, or this where you would be, because he was. I was just writing down desking because this is where he was making me feel like I was going when I was talking to
Mm.
you. You know, this is what he was. This is what he was showing me. Is there anything with the number 13 for anyone?
13.
I don't know why I
Don't
keep
think
seeing that.
so.
All right, just hold on to it. For some reason, they're showing
Okay.
me the number 13. And actually 13 is a good luck number. People, it's not what people think. It's actually trying to feel you. Did your sister have a hard time forming words?
Well, she couldn't talk at all. So
Okay, because that's what she just, and all of a sudden somebody either, I don't know if somebody was showing me like a tracheotomy or if there was something about having or some talk of this. I don't know why I'm hearing this or seeing this. I don't know if this made any sense for her.
so I don't know what in her last like few months she was just like so sick. I can't
Yeah.
even remember like what they did or didn't do with her to try to help her breathe. I'm
Okay.
sure there were tubes down her throat to try to help. But yeah, I mean, breathing was really hard for her in her last few months. So that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, they usually don't like to focus on this stuff too much because honestly, when they come to me, they're not that anymore. They're young, they're healthy, they're perfect. No one wears glasses, no one's sick. There's no time, no jealousy, no suffering over there. You can do anything that you want to do. So they usually don't, you know what I mean? That's not something with me they like to focus on. And I don't like to focus on that because that's not what I see, you know what I mean, when I see them. But
That's
for some
nice.
reason, though, she kept showing me a dog or somebody kept showing me a dog. I don't know if there was something about one being around her or you having one growing up. I don't know why they're showing me this or if this, I keep seeing some
So,
sort of,
so we never had a dog growing up. I always wanted one. I
okay.
was jealous of my friends that did have one, but my
You
parents.
have one now. Is it something about you wanting a dog now or saying when I move or I will get something about a dog?
Well, so because I wanted one as a kid, but I think it was difficult for my parents to imagine having a dog with my
Oh,
sister
for
around
sure.
because
Yes.
they
Yes.
didn't know how they would interact or if the dog was jumping on
Yes.
my sister couldn't get it off or things like that. So it was always like she was kind of the reason they used for why we didn't have a dog. Um,
Okay.
as for now, like I'm just so used to not having a dog that I don't have the same. I love dogs, but I don't have the same like stop everything in your tracks every time you see a cute puppy across the street type thing that some
And
of
do
my
that.
friends have. Some of my friends will like literally stop everything to go run and see a dog.
Well,
Um,
what I do want you to know, Jeff, is what I'm seeing is I feel like whenever you get to where your next you know what I mean, destination is, I do feel as if I keep seeing you almost on the beach with a dog. Do you understand? Like I see the dog in the water with you,
I like that
as if
vision.
this is one that it's like, do you understand? It's almost like a sidekick for you. It's like, this is amazing. This daughter's swimming with me. Like I do feel, so I just want you to know that you can hold
Okay.
on to that. Cause I do see where you just go, oh my God, like this is the right time. You know, it has to be about
Nice.
timing. You have to have time. It has to be the right place and time and space.
Yeah.
You know, when you have one, I do feel like once you get settled and you know what I mean, and you have this other place, I do see this for you because this is what they're showing me. It's like this dog goes with you. I keep seeing you throwing the ball in the water in the beach, and you're like, this is great. The dog is swimming.
Nice.
So I want you to know it's almost like the dog kind of finds you. I kind
Okay.
of feel like it's just kind of like happens. It's not something you kind of, you know how you don't go looking for something, it kind of finds you,
Yeah.
and that it just happens because this is what she's saying, and she kind of smiles like you are going to get your dog.
Okay.
Like
Cool.
she's kind of just showing me this, like that it was a thing for you, you know what I mean, that it was, you know, something, but that it'll be the right time, and like you'll know. I don't feel it like tomorrow or next week or next year, but I do feel, you know what I mean, this is something that you're showing. It was something she was showing me and wanted me to bring up. Now, is there anything you're curious about or you would like to ask me?
I mean, it's nice to hear that my dad's proud. I think that's definitely like I
Oh, he's so proud of you.
because yeah, the celebrity interview stuff is new. It's something I've always wanted to do, but it isn't something I ever really did. And then it was kind of like my dad passing away, and then a friend of mine committing suicide. That uh, really made me think about my life and my time on this planet. Um, and it was like, okay, it was kind of at a point where I was like, if I died tomorrow, if I was hit by a car and didn't, if something a freak accident happened and I died, didn't wake up tomorrow, would I be happy with my life? And at the time, the answer was no. And it's because I'd always wanted to do on camera hosting, celebrity interviews, but I had done nothing about it to make it happen. And so
Mm-hmm.
that day, as soon as I had that vision and that thought, I signed up for my very first hosting boot camp. And even then, I said, if I died now, if I died tomorrow, before I even had the class happen, would I look down and be happy with my life? And then the answer was yes. Because like, even though I haven't gone through the class yet, I've taken the step to get there. And then ever since then, that's kind of been the through line with my life of like, that's why I moved to London. I had no interest in moving to London. I had no thoughts London was never a city in my vision board. It was always LA. But my boss offered me a job in London, and I said, why not? Life is short. You never know what's around the corner. So I think that my dad and my sister passing, it
Yeah.
is the main thing in my life that drives me, because life is short and you never know what's going to happen, and you have to live life to its fullest. So all that to say, all this celebrity stuff is new in a sense, and I just know how proud it would make him, and I know there's so many times that I want to like talk to him about it or tell him about it, and it's I just know that he would be so pumped about some of the celebrity interviews that I do and these massive people who I talk to. So just hearing the words that he's proud is really nice to hear.
And you know, amazing, even when I said to you in the beginning that like this wasn't always something that you thought you would be doing, that it was them that guided you to this. And when you just literally said to me, life is short, and after they went to heaven and they passed, it made you start saying, and that's what I said, this was them guiding you. This was them knowing, right, that they were so proud of you, and this was something you were going to always do, and that you put so much on hold for everyone else, that you took the time when you needed to. And that this is, to me, I always think the greatest legacy in life, when people ask what it is, it's never about that. It's about when you take the time to give to someone that you don't have. You can't buy time, you can't sell it, right? You can't. It's something that, it's the great healer. It will heal everything if you allow it to. And you took the time when you needed to and put everything on hold, Jeff, and you did this. So now this is where all this comes in for you. And that's what I'm saying. Your father just said, tell him I see everything. I haven't missed one single thing that he has done. And he's been the one that's helped to guide you to say, look over here, go do this. He's the one that when you feel the courage to do something, it's because he's just saying, son, you've got this. Like, you can do this. Like, you will do this. And I feel like you do this in honor of them. And that's such a beautiful thing to do. And when you feel them, you are really feeling them. Everyone does. You know what I mean? It's not just me, everyone. And if I can change one perception about this, is that
Mm-hmm.
when when we're done this conversation, they stay with you, they keep guiding you, they love you, right? That they never leave, that they're always, anything you say to them, they hear you. So this is your father, I mean, just saying that, I mean, I just feel like you're still, even as, my goodness, as much as I mean, you're telling me that you've done that there's still so much more, right? That
Yeah.
you're like an everything guy. You want to know how to do everything. I want to be in front. I want to be in behind. I want to interview. Like you're like this little book of knowledge. You want to learn everything,
Yeah.
right? And you are taking the first steps. And the reason you did is because it came from somewhere else. If we would just stop and acknowledge where we're getting this stuff from, it helps everything else on a daily basis, and more to come, right? The more, because I always say people are going to always let us down because we're people, right? We can't be all things to all people, but the divine can. And when you talk to them, I'm telling you, your father could not wait to talk to you today. When I sat here and started, I was like, oh my goodness. It was like, I had to get him, I mean, the first thing is just, he's got to know how proud I am and that I do see everything. Because you do question, Dad, do you see this? Dad, I'm doing this. You would be so proud. And he's just, tell him, I see everything. He's so proud of what you took to actually do it. You know what I mean? That you took the steps to do it, that you didn't just think about it, that you actually did it. And he's like, that's what I'm so proud about, is that you just kept moving forward. Even on the days you maybe didn't want to and it wasn't as easy, you did it anyway. And he also, though, I just feel like you will have this time where, I don't know why they just keep going back to the moving and being by the water in California, but like you're going to have it all. Like you can have places in 2 places, and that you're going to be having this peace, like at the end of the day, where it's like, I'm going out to the water. Because if you could do one thing every single day at 5 o'clock, I want to be in that water. I want to go.
Yeah.
I want to go surfing. I want to be in the water.
Definitely.
So this is why for me, what I do is so important, because if you can connect someone, it changes someone's life when they understand that they're alive, that heaven is a real place, right? We just don't poof into nothingness, and the fact that you would take the time to do this, I honestly, I can't thank you enough. And it just truly means a lot. It's even with me, right? Even what you do, like I've seen hundreds and hundreds of people, and all of a sudden it's just, you get that from heaven. I'm supposed to do this podcast now. You don't know why, but you just say, I know it's bigger than me. Right?
Yeah.
Because if you can reach more people and open people up and change one person's life in one way and make a difference and give them hope, there's nothing greater than that. And that's what you do with people too. You give a lot. You don't just ask questions. And this is what your dad, and they're saying they're so proud of, you actually give to them. Like you're very kind to people, and that you are actually giving. You're not just wanting to know things from them, that you're actually very, very kind.
Thanks.
And I want you to know that you're very loved. I want you to know how loved you are, and that they will be with you every second of this journey. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I thank you for taking time to do this. And if I can ever help you in any way, don't hesitate to reach out.
Thank you. No, it means so much. Yeah, no, it was no question to have a second, to have a few minutes to hear from them. I think about them all the time, and I miss them a lot. So just the thought to connect with them, it was a no brainer.
And you know what, Jeff? The thing is we never stop missing them. We're going to always miss them. But when we know we connect, or they come to you, do you understand? And I have to ask you one more thing. Is there anything with a coin? Somebody kept like flipping a coin, kept showing me either like in coins or some sort of like something you can put in your hand, something with a coin. So if it doesn't make sense, just please just hold on to it and see if it does later.
I don't know if this is it, but my ex-boyfriend did buy me a guardian angel coin.
Yes, because I said it's something you can put in your hand, and I actually have the coin written down, and I had to bring this up. They keep showing it over and over again, and I have it written down. Here it is, even on my notes, even earlier as we were going. I had to bring this up because before we finished, they kept saying, please. Do you understand? It's something you can put in your hand. It's almost like you could take it out of that, keep it in your wallet or in your pocket. Do you understand? It's like something you can keep with you, or you could make a necklace out of it. Do you understand? It's almost like you wear it, like you put a bail on it or make a necklace out of it. But it was very significant for me that I needed to bring this up for you, that this was something that meant something to you, was very important.
That's nice to know. And
I would have felt terrible if I did not. Do you understand? Is this the connection? Is this the connection we were talking about?
Yeah. I mean,
so do you understand?
It's
amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just one of those things that like,
because I felt a lot of depression around this person.
Around who? Sorry, around me.
Somebody had depression. I feel like the person that ended their life, I felt a lot of, do you understand, like depression or struggle, like tried to get through things.
Yeah.
But this coin is very significant. I almost feel as if you're supposed to be wearing it. Do you understand?
Okay. I can make that happen.
That's what they're showing me. Okay.
Yeah. My ex gave this to me on one of I don't know if it was a anniversary of a passing or a birthday. And it's one of those things that, it's
It's
a
amazing.
silly-ish little thing that you just buy from a shop, but I've always kind of kept it out as a nice reminder. So it's nice to know that, they see it.
Do you
That's
understand?
cool.
I always say to me, it's the little messages that are the big ones. It's sometimes it's that last message I say. What I'll say to people, I'm always like, one more thing. It's that last message that is so big. The little ones are big, but I kept seeing that coin like it was something so significant, and it's almost just like wear it, put a bail on it, do something and wear this. Like it's a big message. It might seem small, but it's huge, and it's never about the money. It's about what that is for you.
Yeah.
That's what's amazing, and they
Yeah.
wanted me to show this to you that they know.
Nice.
And Jeff, from the bottom of my heart, God bless you. And I hope
Thank
that
you.
we can, stay in touch or, you know what I mean? And just stay in contact. And I wish you so many blessings because honestly, there's so much that you've done and there's so much that you're still going to do. But every second of it, know that you're loved.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Tell them I miss them and I love them, and
They hear you. They hear you. They hear you. That's
I'll
what I
tell
want
them.
people to understand.
Yeah.
You don't need me. They hear you. They hear you. Okay, Jeff.
Nice.
We'll talk
Thank
again
you so
soon, I
much.
hope.
Yes, definitely. Thank you very much.